Alright, so my research question is um, what are the benefits slash effects of art therapy for those on the autism spectrum? And my first journal is by Hyung Lim, and the title of it is Effect of Developmental Speech and Language Training Through Music on Speech Production in Children with Autism Spectrum. And the few quotes that I have highlighted here are these right here. The first one says the target word in both the music and speech stimuli was placed at the end of each phrase, which allowed the children to anticipate the location and time of the target words to be produced. AAZ appeared to have an intact ability to perceive musical and speech patterns. So basically, what this article is saying is that it doesn't really talk about like what the effects of music therapy is. It's just talking about like the process of it and how um, different words are incorporated in music therapy in order for the children with autism they can start learning gaining communication and verbal skills. So that's what this article is basically about. um, right here it just talks about the results of the present study suggests that children with AZ meaning aut children with autism perceive and produce dialinguistic information from music as they do from speech. So it's basically saying that with musical therapy, children gain communication skills and etc. So that's what the first article is about. And our the second article is by Grace Thompson, and it's right here, this one. And the title of it is um, Family-Centered Music Therapy in the Home Environment, promoting interpersonal engagement between children with autism spectrum, um, disorder and their parents. So once again, this article doesn't explain the effects of it yet, but it does mention something that I think is very important. It explains how family members and parents should be in the sessions, like the musical therapy sessions, just because they see the strengths and weaknesses that the child will have, and they can practice those. Whatever their weakness is, they can, you know, like practice that at home. And also, it's just nice for the child to have like a familiar face with them. So in that way, they're able to learn more, and they're able to grasp like all the information that they're given by the therapist. Right here, the quote that I highlighted is, "This approach is particularly useful with young children with autism spectrum disorder as a way of promoting interpersonal engagement and therefore the development of early social and communication skills." And then right here, it says, this is kind of like an insight of what parents feel like, like a parent's opinion. It says, parents describe feeling supported in music therapy sessions and experience music therapy sessions as fun and enjoyable. And then how I mentioned before, it says right here, also better able to identify strengths in their child with ASD. So they're able to see the things that their child is really good at and things that they need to work on more. So that's what document 2 is about. And then in document 3 by Rickson Daphne, and the title of this article is Musical Therapy with People Who Have Autism Spectrum Disorder, Current Practice in New Zealand. So this is a practice that was done in New Zealand, and the quotes that I've gotten from this article should be down here. Let's see. Here. Music therapy sessions are an opportunity giving children, their parents, and other team members a break from the challenges associated with other environments. So this is another thing that I think it's like really important. Uh, Part of musical therapy is that it kind of gives like children, or not even children, people who anyone who's suffering from autism, is that it gives them a break from like the real world. You know, they already have like so many other challenges, like they face so many challenges in their everyday life, that music therapy is just a way for them to like escape all those challenges, and it just gives them like a break. And then right here, in this study, some music therapists indicated that they employ behavioral strategies in their work by considering behavior. Yeah. Um, so basically, they just mentioned how besides um, doing like music therapy, they also work on behavior. So not only is the child like working on like gaining verbal and communication skills and stuff like that, but they're also like working on like how to behave in front of other people, which is also something that um, children with autism don't quite understand. So going over this during music therapy is very helpful. So that's another thing that's very convenient. So that's Article 3. Um, for Article 4, it is by Blythe A. Corbett, and the title of it is, it's a brief report on the effects of the Tomati sound therapy on language in children with autism. And what the, I'm not sure if I'm saying this correctly, the Tomati's sound therapy is basically like this. It's almost like music therapy, but it's just a little bit different. Like there's specific songs that they use in order to help them like with their um communication skills, but it's very similar to it. And then the quote, this is the article, and the quote that I got from that, this is where you can find it on the reference page. It's right here. Right here. This is what I'm highlighting. And the quote that I got from this is it's, the results show no significant difference on the language measures across the groups attributed to the treatment condition. In regards to receptive language, there was an overall trend for the participants to progress or develop in a linear way. All subjects shown improvement in their language skills over time. However, the changes did not appear related to the treatment condition. So what they did in this study is that they compared the Tomati's um the, what is it called again? The Tomati sound therapy and music therapy, and they noticed that there isn't much change with the Tomati sound therapy. But once they brought in like music therapy, which is a little bit different, they noticed that there was more change faster, or more like improvement with the music therapy rather than the Tomati sound therapy, which it took them a while to see improvement in the children. So this shows how effective music therapy really is, and um, that's the fourth document. And now moving on to the fifth document, by Ellen Hansen. The The title of it being Use of Complementary and Alternative Medicine Among Children Diagnosed with Autism Spectrum Disorder. So this is one of my articles where it doesn't really fully answer my question, but it does have something to do with like children or people with autism on the autism spectrum disorder, but still it's not relevant to my question. Let's see. And then this is where you can find it on my thing. It's right here. So the quote that I got from this article is this article doesn't really even mention music therapy, which is the reason why it doesn't really fit with the question. But the one thing that really caught my eye from it was that it basically just explained how okay um it explained how it is important to, when doing different types of therapy, the CAM therapy or types of therapy are very effective just because it is a mind body technique. So it includes like meditation, prayer, and therapies that use like creative outlets such as art, music, and dance. So that's the reason why I picked this article, just because it did mention music and it considered music as a creative outlet, which is one of the reasons why music therapy is a very effective therapy for children or people with on the autism spectrum disorder, because it's kind of like how I mentioned before, it's kind of like a break. It gives them a break from the real world, basically. So that's what this article was mentioned, but it didn't really go into much detail, which is the reason why it doesn't really fit into my doesn't answer my question fully. And now moving on to this article. um, so the sixth article is by Kaplan Rana, and it's an analysis of music therapy program goals and outcomes for clients with diagnosis on the autism spectrum autism spectrum. And the quote that I got from this document was, let's see. Let's see where this is at. Here you go. So this article um basically just focus on like percentages and numbers. So it shows the percentages of the goals that were met by session type. So right here it says those in individual um, sessions reach for meetings. 75% of intermediate objects objectives in the perceptual motor, to 77% in the language and communication area, 88% in the behavior psychosocial area, and 100% in the cognitive and musical areas. So with this just gives us an idea of the improvements that the therapist saw in the patients and how it is actually really like effective. So it just kind of shows the numbers of how it really does work and how it is important to incorporate music therapy or some type of therapy into the lives of someone who has autism spectrum disorder. So that's what this article focuses on. So that was Article 6. And then Article 7. It's by Gina Kim, and it's the effects of improvisational music therapy on joint attention behaviors in autistic children. And the quotes that I got from this journal were these right here. And this one this journal, it's right here. It's this one. It's a this is right here. So these are the two quotes that I got from this article, and this one says the overall results from both the standardized measures and the sessions analysis were generally in favor of music therapy over the play conditioning with toys in improving the joint attention behaviors of the participants. So, what this journal focused on was it did a study. So, they went to a preschool, and what they did was that they sent kids to play with toys, and they sent the other half of kids to do different types of activities with like music, like creating different types of to do music stuff. And what they noticed is that the children who were playing with toys, I mean, the toys got captured their attention for maybe like 5 minutes, and after that their behavior changed, like they were already getting bored and stuff like that. And with the children who were with had were doing stuff with music, they were the ones who never had they never took their eyes away from it, or like their ears away from it, I guess. They always they were always focused and kind of never, so they basically didn't do what the children who were playing with toys did. Like, so they were playing for 5 minutes, and then after that they just did their own thing. So this kind of shows how effective music really is and how it really does capture someone's attention, even children. So this is what this journal does. It just kind of explains. It made the study kind of showed how not children and toys don't always, you know. So that was the 7th document, and then our 8th. The 8th document is by Natasha Thompson and is Catching the Tune or Channeling the Boat. I mean, the beat. Sorry. A pilot study investigating the role of rhythm in therapeutic singing for aphasia. So this is another article that I does not answer my question. I just thought it was really interesting because it does have to do with music. So it kind of connects to it, but doesn't fully relate to it. It talks about where mainly focuses on patients with aphasia. And aphasia, Um, Aphasia is an acquired language disorder that can arise as a consequence of a stroke. So they use music. Right here it says this study investigated the feasibility of delivering a rhythm-focused singing intervention as a means of distinguishing the individual therapeutic contribution of rhythm and melody. So they use rhythm and melody to kind of help the patients with aphasia gain verbal, like be able to talk again, because of the stroke or whatever it is that caused the condition. They lost the ability to speak, so they used music in order to regain that ability again. So it doesn't really fully answer the question, but it does kind of connect to it just because they use music. So that's that. That was the 8th document, and now moving on to the 9th document, which is this one right here. It's the effects of improvisational music therapy versus enhanced standard care of symptoms severity among children with autism spectrum disorder. So, let's see if it will show up. Well, it does not want to come up. So, okay, we can move on from that document. Why are you not coming up? Sorry about this. Okay, there you go. This is document 9, and what this document basically is talking about is that they should incorporate music therapy into standard care, just because they believe that regular standard care does not benefit anything. It doesn't really help children with autism that much. So they believe that it is important. It would be important and it would make a big difference to incorporate music therapy just so they can get something out of the standard care. And the quote that I got um, from this article, it says, it's right here. Compared to a provision of music therapy, um, added to enhance standard care, with standard care alone for improving social communication skills in children with ASD. So, just how I mentioned, like they're just talking about how they should add music therapy into standard care just so children can benefit more from it. So it shows how important it is to incorporate some type of therapy into the lives of children with autism, with ASD. So And then the Article 10 Article 10 is the title of it is Does Music Matter? It's right here. Um, does music matter? The effects of background music on verbal expression and engagement in children with autism spectrum disorder. Music therapy perspectives. Um, and then it's written by Janet Priya, and and the quotes that I got from this article are right here. So this is a very interesting article because I've been talking about like what the effects of music therapy are and how like it is important for family members and parents to be involved and all that stuff, but like this one focuses on like what really happens like in the brains of like the children or um anyone who has a session and has been to a session. So the quote says it suggests that um it talks about like the let's see. It basically talks about how children with autism don't have a very good um don't have very good communication skills. So by listening to music, there's certain parts of our brains that kind of there's connections in our brains that occur that happen while we communicate with others. So having these therapy sessions, like music therapy sessions, it helps the children kind of like practice. And I can't show you the quote because it doesn't want to come up, but you saw it. I hope. Um, but yeah, this is what this article focuses on. It kind of just explains about what really happens during the session, like in our minds. So that's very interesting. So for document 11, it is by Monica Gertzeger, and it's a randomized controlled trial of improvisational music therapy effectiveness for children with autism spectrum disorders. So It's this one right here. Let's see. And the quotes that I got from this article are right here. It says the attempts to help children with ASD develop meaningful language and social communication skills cover a wide range of different approaches. Methods available and report within ASD that are designed to improve communication and social interactions. Only insufficient evidence of effectiveness exists. So, like all this time, I've been talking about the importance of music therapy and how it helps. And I'm sorry about the text messages. I don't know how to not take that. I don't know how to take that away. Anyway, I'm talking about um, all this time I've been talking about the importance of music therapy and how it helps children gain communication and verbal skills from a wide range of different approaches. And what this article does is it explains how it says in the quotes, and it just explains the benefits of music therapy does. So this is the one that really answers my question. And yeah, so this is the really important one. And the last journal, let's see, it's this one here. It's by Lynn. And then it's the effect of music therapy incorporated with applied behavior analysis verbal behavior approach for children with autism spectrum disorders. And it comes from the Journal of Music Therapy. Hopefully it can come up here. Alright, so and then the quote that I got from this article should be around here. Let's see. Why won't I show this one? So this is the one um that does the ABAVB, which is the Applied Behavior Analysis Verbal Behavior program. So what it says is that the ABAVB often uses songs to help patients with their communication skills. So what they're saying is basically that they're like combining both of them, and the quotes are right here. Where is it? The findings suggest that music can be incorporated into the ABAVB training method, and that musical stimuli can be successfully used to enhance verbal production in children with ASD. The structure and curriculum of the ABA-VB training method can utilize carefully designed musical sounds with various combinations of melody, rhythm, and dynamic. Pairing target verbal instructions prompts with singing establishes effective antecedents variables in automatic reinforcement, enabling increase the frequency of the target verbal operant production in children with autism. So it just says it's talking about how combining music therapy with the ABA-VB training method, it will really benefit um, children with autism in gaining better communication skills. So it, yeah, that's what it's saying, and that's pretty much it. And then these are all of my, this is the reference, and this is where all of the journals are. So overall, to just answer my question, it's, you know, there's many different benefits of music therapy, but I feel like the biggest one and the most important one is that music therapy not only works as an outlet for children with autism, but it also gives them the benefit of gaining better communications and verbal skills. And with some therapists, they're now incorporating um, behavioral like programs in there, just so they can, you know, um, learn that. So yeah, that's pretty much it. And yeah.